What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of all the Black Friday offers that we had in the game? It feels like pretty weak sauce, but I'm curious to know your thoughts as well, guys. We are currently on the test server. We're actually going to have a look at a brand new epic champion that was added in this batch, and we're actually going to compare the champion with another older champion in Clan Boss. Now, Suiren, she's a pretty strong champion. She is from the Shadow King faction. Mainly when you're seeing her kit, you're going to be like, okay, this is a Clan Boss champion for unkillable teams, okay? So this will work on teams with Demita, with Maneater, with Sir Nicholas, with Roshkar, Barrister, Midfu, Mid Harris, Batman Forever. Pretty much any unkillable team. If you don't have a Dracomorph, if you don't have a Jintoro, you can definitely count on Suiren. She is Force Affinity. So this is the champion that we have on the list. We're going to compare her with Fayne. Now, I've seen this champion's kit, right? And the very first thing I said to myself is, I think she's going to be much better than Fayne just because of everything in her kit, you know? And I'm actually curious to see that once we're going to take the champion in for a spin. We're going to give the exact same gear that I have on this champion to Fayne, and we're going to compare a bit both of their damage. Maybe some of you guys will be like, I just got this champion and I'm thinking of building her instead of Fayne, or I'm thinking of building her for a magic affinity where Fayne doesn't perform that well, or you're thinking to build her to add her next to Fayne or next to other champions for your unkillable team. So we're gonna see if she's really worth it, right? On the A1, she lands poisons. That's one thing that looks pretty juicy. The A2, we have weaken. And on the A3, we have defense down. This is AoE as well, which makes it pretty nice for faction wars. The only thing is not 100%, okay? It's only a 80% chance to land that defense down. So hopefully, the luck is going to be on our side. Each hit here has a 70% chance to do it. 60 accuracy for dungeons is not really going to help us for Clan Boss. Now, the build that I have on her, Relentless, because we're going to try her on the Barrister. Her base attack is not as high as Fayne, you know. We have 31k HP, 4.4k attack, 2k defense, 220 speed, 100 crit rate, 211 crit damage, 255 accuracy. I haven't went all in crazy on the build, you know, because I kind of like want to see what they can do. I'm not going to focus on the total damage for the team, guys. You shouldn't do that either. We're going to focus on the damage that Fayne does on her own and the damage that Suiren does on her own, you know. I actually went the extra mile and made sure I have the same rolls on attack, crit damage, and the accuracy banner on Fayne too. So I have a double roll on attack. We have a crit damage amulet, pretty similar with what Fayne has. And we have an accuracy banner with one roll on attack, 3% from the glyph. So it's going to be identical, okay? Of course, their base stats are different, completely different. Masteries, we have offense and defense 3. We're gonna rely on this retribution quite a bit. It's very good to get sniper, to get the master hexer on her. So if you are using her together with the Demita in the team, it's actually much better to go on the support tree, and everything will have higher chances to drop, and you're gonna have the debuffs up for a longer duration, more or less, right? So this is the build that we have on Suiren. I'm quickly gonna show you all the gear if you are curious to see something. This is the weapon. This is the helmet right here. We have the shield. We have crit damage gloves. We have attack chest piece. We have speed boots. I think you've seen the accessories already. And when we're going to go at Fayne, I'm going to show you that we have the same masteries. We're going to put the exact same gear on her and the same stats on the accessories. Let's jump in Clan Boss and see what we can get done with Suiren. So here we are, guys, in the Barrister. This will work as full auto. We're gonna have a quick look to see what sort of damage we're getting out of the champion. If she smacks hard enough to kind of like justify it, we're gonna have to let the run go in for a bit, you know. Okay, we landed that weaken, so she prioritizes her A2. I actually haven't prioritized any skills on her. It's the very first time I'm using this champion, and I want to see if we're going to be impressed with her or no. Okay, the A1, nice. We landed a poison there. The animation seems pretty cool. She doesn't seem to run at the boss every single time, which is good because that makes the entire run a bit slower. Less animations, you know. I'm very curious if she's gonna beat Fayne on the damage or no. Do make your bets now, guys. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? Who do you think is better, Fayne or the new champion? Very curious to see what you guys think as well. We don't have toxic sets on any of the champions because, how I mentioned, we're not looking at the total damage per team. We're looking at the damage per champion, right? So if I would bring toxic sets to help these two champions in, will definitely take us to a 1-key, but we're not actually doing that. There we go. We actually dropped quite a few poisons. Nice. So that we have 5 poisons from Suiren there. Pretty nice. Okay. Once the counter attack comes in play more often, we'll end it. The weaken. We don't have the defense down on at the moment. That's the thing. If we're gonna get resisted, or we just don't proc it because it's only 80% chance, it's not that great. Like with Fayne, you know you have it 100% up. Defense down, weaken is not a question of if you're gonna get it done, but it's still a good option. Maybe for a magic affinity. It's gonna be strong affinity too, so she's gonna deal more damage. If it's something that you might wanna consider, you know. So seems like we're dropping around 1 million per turn so far. We'll end the defense down, the weaken. The damage is pretty good. I'm still gonna wait a bit till the HP drops below 50 to be more consistent there, so to see kind of like the damage that we're getting, you know, when all the masteries kind of like come in play. 61k, 58k, so that's almost 110k from the A1. Fairly decent. Fayne doesn't hit too hard with her actual skills, you know. 55, 61. So we went a bit over the 110k, 116k there. Let's see the other skills as well a bit. 42, 47, that's the A2. Doesn't seem to hit too hard either. 69k with the A3. So her damage is not like blowing my mind off either. I thought that she's gonna have slightly better damage, just raw damage, you know. But I'm pretty convinced that yeah, they're not too far off. So just seeing her damage, I'm kind of like feeling that they're gonna be more close to each other in terms of damage, you know. Okay. Are we dropping the HP? I'm actually going to fast forward towards the end, guys. So we're getting near the end, guys. We have turn 46. We passed the 1-key. Pretty easy. 76 million damage so far with her. Actually, I've seen her filling up the poison bar on her own. Now, that only happens when she has kind of like decent RNG on the counter attacks, decent RNG on the extra turns from Relentless. So when that happens, she's going to be able to keep the poison bar full. I would still probably use a toxic set in this team just to make this even easier to get it to a 1-key. I think she actually fits much better in teams with the meta, where you can actually go on the support tree for masteries instead of the defense tree and get the extra chance to land the debuffs, etc. will actually help the champion more, you know. So we got resisted there, but we're still pretty spot on with the damage that we have here. How I mentioned, in terms of the raw damage that she's dealing, it doesn't look that crazy compared to Fayne either. It feels like they are pretty similar in terms of raw damage, you know. The highest hit I've seen from her per skill is like 80k per hit, 80k, so that brought up to 160k with the A2 as an idea, and the A3 doesn't really hit that much harder either. But turn 50, 81 million damage, and we have Suiren with 23.9 million damage. Time to bring in Fayne instead of her and see what sort of damage we're gonna get out of the team like that. We're gonna move all the gear from Suiren all the way to Fayne. So if I'm quickly gonna show you the accessories first, one thing to keep in mind with Fayne, guys, is that she has basically around 300 plus more base attacks. So her total stats are gonna be much higher than Suiren, okay? So this is the ring right here, 18% attack. This is the amulet, same double roll on accuracy, 1 on attack. And we have 16% on the banner. Time to bring in the rest of the gear. So we're actually gonna select the exact same gear that we had. We had the cruel set and we had the relentless. So we're gonna be able to put that on her. Let's see, so what do we have? We had the helmet, which was on her. I still gotta remember kind of like her her avatar. That's something that I don't remember just yet. There we go. That's one. Pretty easy to remember, actually. Skratch, what are you talking about? Crit damage gloves. There they are. They moved the slot. Speed boots were from this set. They're just here. And then we have the attack chest piece and the weapon from Cruel. And the build should be complete. You see, we're almost covering the attack already. Like right now, we should be kind of like covering her attack that we had before almost. The attack chest piece will actually bump the attack quite a bit on Fayne. But then the multipliers are lower on Fayne. So she's not really going to do much damage either, you know. There we are. So we have the exact same gear on Fayne. Same stats on accessories. Total stats on Fayne, 28k HP, 5.4k attack. So I think that's roughly around 1k extra more attack if I'm not mistaken from what we had before. 221 speed, full crit rate, 218 crit damage, 235 accuracy. I'm actually going to take the liberty of glyphing the accuracy here just to make sure we're not going to get resisted or anything like that. This will put it a bit more similar with what we had on the other champion. 244, more than enough. Masteries. We have offense and defense 3. Identical masteries on both. Let's jump over in the clan boss and see which one of them is actually better. So here we are. This as well will be full auto. We don't have to do nothing. I'm not going to use anyone else for the lead because it's not going to benefit our team at all either. Fayne, she does have that 100% guaranteed chance to land defense down and weaken. The only problem is that skill is on a 4-turn cooldown. The debuffs will be up for a 3-turn cooldown. Considering that we have Painkeeper and Relentless in here, the 4-turn cooldown is absolutely not a problem whatsoever for Fayne to land the defense down and weaken. When she lands the poisons, she brings in attack down too, which can overall cost you a bit when you are using a toxic set because you're dropping a slot on the poisons with the attack down that Fayne brings in, you know. With the A1, she hits 23k, 26k. I think that was without having the right debuffs on, so we're going to pay a bit of attention at the damage now. Defense down and weaken, triple hit, but the damage barely got up to like 100k. So 100k to 120. If we're thinking about the A3, yeah, the A3 does hit a bit harder on Fayne than will hit on the other champion. The A2, 141k right there. Very similar with the other champion's A2, surprisingly. And the A1, again, very similar. So, you see, the difference in multipliers makes them look pretty equal. Even though Fayne has a very high base attack and the other champion doesn't, they're still kind of like balancing each other out. Multipliers, base stats, kind of like bringing them on the same line. The main thing is which one of them is kind of like more reliable with poisons, with defense down and weaken, and which one of them will bring more total damage at the end. Let me know in the comments down below. We've seen the previous champion, 23+ million damage. Very curious to see if Fayne will actually beat that damage or no. How I mentioned, we're not looking at the total damage per team, we're looking at the damage per champion. Once we're gonna get towards the end of the fight, guys, again, I'm gonna go over right before the end to check again the damage that we're getting once all the masteries come in play. You see 150k with the A3, that's actually pretty nice. So actually it feels like her A3 brings a bit more damage than Suiren, you know. 162, that's actually pretty similar. So yeah, actually they look very similar in terms of damage, but I'm gonna fast forward towards the end. So here we are, guys, near the end. We can clearly see by the damage that Fayne actually does perform better all around. She does actually hit slightly harder with the A3 and the A1, so the A3 will actually bring around 50k damage per hit whenever she uses the skill, so that all around will make quite a bit of a difference. Plus, of course, the A1, just even having a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 extra per hit will actually add up a lot of damage at the end of the run. How you guys can see, even though she might have slightly better RNG with the Relentless on this run or whatever, she didn't go resisted and stuff like that, we can clearly see that this is not a matter of RNG, and she does perform much better actually. I'm curious to see the total damage at the end. I feel like it's going to be around 5 to 6 million difference in the damage. but it might be slightly higher. It really depends of how good she actually smacked the clan boss this time around. So if you were curious, should I build Fayne? Should I build her now that I have two different options, especially if you're new to the game? And how I mentioned, around 6 million damage difference, slightly under 6 million, but very, very impressive. The rest of the champions did have some better RNG, and that can come in play maybe because defense down was more consistent on the boss, which actually makes a big difference at the end of the run to have defense down and weakened consistently, because you see the rest of the champions, they do have actually more damage on. It doesn't mean that the other champion is not great. She's actually pretty solid too. If you need a replacement, if you need a champion for a different affinity, if you need to pair her together with Fayne or other champions for your unkillable, how I mentioned, she does perform much better in unkillable teams than high defense because they are pretty squishy as epic champions. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think of the new champion? Much love, appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all soon in the next one. Peace.